Hello, listener, and welcome to the Building It Online podcast. Whether you're an established business owner or you're just getting started, we are here to help you build a better online business faster. This is the place where you can tune in and learn from experienced entrepreneurs about what it really takes to grow your business in today's online environment. And be sure to check out buildingitonlinepodcast.com for more expert interviews, key insights, and up-to-date growth strategies to take your business to the next level. What is up, team?
Hello, everyone.
B&M back in the easy, the house.
B&M.
How's it going, Mike?
It's good, man. I'm excited about today. Some productivity, online efficiency, like all the good stuff.
I always enjoy jamming with you. We have such good jam sessions.
Yep. Dude, I'm excited. It's a holiday week, at least in the U.S.
Oh my God, dude. I was talking with my team member and we were planning what was going to happen next week. And we literally just rolled into planning out the rest of the year. And I was like, holy shit, that's going to happen fast. Yep. But it was like, okay, well, there's Thanksgiving and then we come back and then, you know, I'm going to be out of town and then she's going to be out of town. And then when we get back, it's already 2020. It's like, oh my God.
Dude, 2020 just sounds futuristic.
It does, doesn't it?
I know it's a couple months, but should be fun.
Word, dude. Well, yeah. So you guys, today we're going to be talking about productivity hacks and specifically like tech hacks that Mike and I have used to really get a lot more stuff done when we're at our computers, because technology is amazing, but you have to use it correctly. And I feel like when I got started, I don't know about you, Mike, but when I got started, I was just not good at getting stuff done. I would get lost in stuff and I didn't know how to be efficient. And now I spend time trying to figure out how to reduce 1 click or 2 clicks when I'm in activities. So I found all these great hacks that really help me set up my computer. So I feel like it's my portal into the world of getting shit done.
I agree with that. And I think that there's a huge a huge audience for this episode specifically, because what we're talking about is not necessarily running your entire business on the computer like Brice and I do, but anybody that uses the computer, which I think is pretty safe to say the majority of people, regardless of what business they're running, are using, some sort of technology device at some point, and this will help them.
Yeah. I want to help people. I want to help people because sometimes I cringe when I watch people use their own computer. And I'm like, we're talking and I'm like, okay, can you open this up? And they have to it's something that they clearly access all the time, but it takes them more than 3 seconds to get there. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to fix this for you.
Dude, my girlfriend hates when I watch her do stuff on the computer, because she has her way of doing it, and it's a great way. It's just not mine. So every time I'm like, no, go. I'm like, oh. And she's like, just go, leave me alone. I got my way to do it. I'm going to get in there. So that's awesome.
I like to make suggestions for people more than I like to tell them what to do. But I suggest a lot of people, I'm like, you go here, you use this a lot online, don't you? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, have you ever set up a bookmarks bar? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh man, you should really think about making this site that you use constantly 1 click away, instead of having to type in something to get somewhere to go somewhere else. I'm like, oh, that's a really good idea. I'm like, it is.
Well, let's get into them. I'll let you start us.
Let's do it. Well, on that note, let's talk about some things that you can use to really optimize your browser, because if you're like a lot of people, you probably spend a lot of time inside of browser, whether that's Chrome or
Safari,
Firefox, or Safari or Brave. It's definitely not Internet Explorer. But so I spend a ton of time, accessing ad platforms and Google Docs and email and chat and Slack and all this stuff inside of a browser that I have set up. So like I said, one thing I have a bunch of bookmarks that are all the sites and documents and everything that I need to regularly access, and they're all just 1 click away. So for me, I can get to my project management system, or client drives, individual client project stuff that's super important, ad campaigns, analytics, any of that stuff is all just 1 click away, which really helps get places faster.
Yeah, man. There's also keyboard shortcuts that I like a lot while using bookmarks bars. And I actually found the other day a really cool like overlay that you can get for your keyboard that tells you all of the shortcuts color coded so that you can see where it goes, which is hard to learn at first, but once you get pretty quick at it, like I'm not a wizard on the keyboard, but most of what I do is without lifting my hands off the keyboard and using the mouse. And I know that saves me a ton of time.
So what are the things you can do with these bookmarks shortcuts, like shortcuts to quickly access things that are in your bookmarks bar?
You can do that. You can little things like opening up new tabs, opening up new windows. I think profiles is something that we're going to get into here. It can all be done with keyboard as well.
Nice. Yeah. The old Control T.
Yep.
New tab
Which is now
for anyone who doesn't
replace the Control Alt Delete.
Yeah. So that was on the profiles thing. That's another thing. So if you're in like Chrome or Brave or some kind of browser like this, you can have different profiles. So I have different profiles based on the work that I'm doing. So I have like a work profile. So that has all my work bookmarks, my work extensions, everything that I need for work. And then I have a separate one that's just like my, like personal browsing time that just has like personal bookmarks and stuff like that. So that way when I'm in work mode, I can just, and then I have another one that has a ton of extensions and stuff because it's when I'm using like when I'm doing like tech setup and analytics and anything like that. So between these three, I can switch between like regular work, super high techie work, and just personal, not working at all. And like inside of all those, I have different bookmarks. I have different websites that are like my favorites and all this stuff. So that way when I'm doing one thing, I'm not distracted by the other things that I could be doing. And especially like instead of having 50 extensions for all the stuff that I need to do, a lot of times I just have I only have 4 in my main one. And then if I need to get all the other ones, I like open that up because I'm doing some kind of tech stuff. So having the different profiles is super helpful as well.
Yeah. That goes really well with the next one that I have, which is different, like, I want to say like, I don't know if it's speed efficiencies or what, but you've mentioned Brave Browser, which I think is a relatively new one for people. I don't know too many people that use it. For me, I was a huge Chrome user. And everything I ever did was in Chrome. I was very reluctant to go into Safari or Firefox until about 2 weeks ago when Brice recommended Brave Browser. And I gave it a test, and it was amazing. If you look at your CPU usage for all of the different profiles and tabs that I had open at any given point, Chrome was sucking down like most of the bandwidth of my computer, and I could constantly hear the fan come on, and it's just killing everything. Whereas Brave Browser eliminates all of the extra, I want to say like JavaScript and extensions and plugins and automatic things that happen in other browsers, and a lot of the tracking that actually takes the bandwidth of your computer, and has really helped me. And it also works with all of the Chrome extensions that I had that I need to function day to day. And then those Chrome extensions are the second part that I have for this little efficiency hack here. And the two that I think are the most efficient for me and the most helpful for me are One Tab and the Great Suspender. One Tab is one that will close all of the tabs into a one-click button so that you can reopen them later. So if you're working on, say billing or invoicing, and you've got, 5 different tabs open, you can push the one little button. It'll shrink all of those tabs into one place. And then when you need them later, later in the day or later in the week or, a month from now, if you're just saving them, you can just click that one button and they'll all open back up. The Great Suspender is the opposite of that. And if you have a lot of tabs open at the same time, the Great Suspender will stop that tab from refreshing after, I think, 4 or 5 minutes of inactivity. So if you haven't looked at it, it's going to stop using the memory on your computer, and then it'll refresh when you click anything in that window the next time you go in.
You're the person that has like 300 tabs open, aren't you?
I have probably 300 tabs open in 5 different profiles at any given time.
Oh my God. Yeah. I can't handle that. Like once I start to get to like more than 5, I'm like, I'm clearly not doing anything productive. I need to get rid of these. This cannot be okay.
It's funny because if I have 5 tabs open, I'm like, I have clearly not started working today.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, yeah, going back to Brave Browser, because I had that same problem where like Chrome was just eating up my RAM, and Brave Browser is essentially like Chrome. I'm slightly convinced that it's just built on Chrome because it uses Chrome extensions. And I was actually able to copy and paste my bookmarks bar into Brave, like not import it, like copy and paste it, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
So I think they play really well together. But the thing it does, it like stops all these back-end scripts and tracking and all this stuff happening, which has really sped up my computer. So that's been really nice. And then, my number one Chrome extension that I downloaded years ago and just it's my favorite Chrome extension of all time, is called Kill Facebook Newsfeed. And what it does is it makes it so that when you go to Facebook, all the sidebars there, everything's around it. Facebook is there. There's just no newsfeed. So there's no hole to get sucked into. And I do a lot of Facebook advertising. So I spend a lot of time on Facebook going to profiles and going to ad accounts and doing all this stuff. And I would find myself just getting lost scrolling through random stuff that I didn't really want to see while I was trying to be productive. And I was like, how does this keep happening? And it's like, well, because they designed it that way to just feed you dopamine hits. Right, exactly. So I was like, how do we stop this? And then Chrome was like, don't worry, we have an extension for that. And I downloaded that extension. And it's just, I get so much stuff done because I can go on Facebook and I can go to places that I need to be. But I don't get sucked into their news feed.
I'm mind blown at how Facebook did that, because being that we work on Facebook all the time, you would think that we would have some sort of like numbness to it, where we go in and we're like, oh, it's just Facebook and we're going to check what we need to check and go about our day. And it is not the case, because
it's so powerful.
I'll preview an ad and all I have to do is scroll down half of one page to go actually see that ad. And 30 minutes later, I'm like, why am I here? How did I get on Facebook? I haven't even seen it.
I had that happen so many times. And that's when Kill Facebook Newsfeed saved my life, because the gravitational pull of the Facebook newsfeed it's like a black hole. It really is. It's massive. And so especially during working hours, as much as you can avoid that. And you can have a separate profile that's your work profile that has that on there. And then if you really want to go spend time on Facebook, you can have another profile that doesn't have that. So when you're on your like personal browsing time, you can go spend time on Facebook. When you're working, it's like, no, this is not browsing Facebook time. Yeah. And you're like, yes, I won this one.
Well, that brings us into my next one, which is procrastinate constructively. This is one of my favorites, actually. We've talked in the past on some of the other productivity episodes that we've done about having a to-do list and items like that. But one of the things that I like to do is organize that to-do list digitally based on what I'm going to do that day. So kind of syncing up your to-do list in your calendar with your tasks. And how I do that is, if I know I'm going to drive for 45 minutes and I also have to call the IRS, right, which is an annoying thing that I had to do yesterday, I know that call is going to take at least 30, 40 minutes to get through. So what I'll do is I'll put that on the calendar, put that in a time slot where I'm already doing something else that I wouldn't be able to do anything on the computer. So instead of wasting time that I could sit here and work constructively on the computer, now I'm overlapping different tasks and killing two birds with one stone, if you will.
I like that. I kind of do something similar. I keep a task list called low energy tasks.
Nice.
And that's my list of things that I can do when I'm just like not feeling it.
Nice.
Like I'm just not being productive. I can't think straight. I'm not doing a great job. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not getting anything really good done. But what I could do is go do my low energy stuff.
That's good. I think it's really worth noting that there are times in life where you're just not going to feel on your game. You're not going to give it everything you have because you're either out of energy, you're having a bad day, and like life things happen. And having that almost could get you back to that high energy, high efficiency, because if you open up your low energy items and you knock out 3 of them, then by the time you're done with that, you're like, damn, like I really did something there. Like I could go to the next one.
Done.
Yeah, like look at me.
Sweet.
Yeah.
My next one is the no notifications club. So I have absolutely no notifications that come on my computer. My computer has none whatsoever. I do not allow it. And my phone, the only notifications that I allow on my phone are actual like conversational applications like WhatsApp or text messages. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, There are no like social media dings. There's no email dings. I don't have Slack or Skype or anything actually installed on my computer. They're all shortcuts in my web browser. So I can easily get to them, but it's all like systematically when I go out and like when it's time for like for me, it's like right after lunch and towards the end of the day, I do like a check. So like I go check my email, I go check Slack, I go check whatever groups that I need to check on for work or people that I need to talk to. I do it at certain times of the day, but what I refuse to allow is for any one of these programs to like distract me from what I'm doing and say, oh, you should be thinking about doing something else. Because I'm like, no, I make my schedule today.
Yeah.
You don't tell me what to do.
You have to be in control of your own time. I love that one.
Yeah. So I do not allow any notifications on my computer at all because that's my main work thing. And then my phone does have like no notifications from any apps except for, like WhatsApp, like any of them instant messaging apps, because usually when I'm working, I put my phone away. Like I put my phone in my backpack. I don't have it near me. Studies show that even just having your computer around, even having your phone just out and around you already distracts you because you're like your brain's like almost waiting for it to go off. Yeah. So I don't have it anywhere near me. And so that no notifications bother me there.
I love that. Mine's set up similar where I have just the red notification on the bottom, but nothing pops up. Like I have to go actively look for it. So
gotcha.
The next one I have is pretty technical. For anybody that does a significant amount of work online, there's a platform called Zapier that will automate almost everything in your life, in your online life at least. But I know that Brice and I have been working pretty in depth with a few different hacks using tools with Zapier, Supermetrics, and Google Sheets or Excel if you're an Excel person, to automate pretty much like working yourself out of the job. We did a interview with a company called Abigo, and that was one of my favorite takeaways from the interview with her, where she said being the owner of a business is constantly trying to find ways to work yourself out of a job. And that's exactly what this podcast is about essentially now. But we're with the Zapier item, Zapier will automate so many of your daily tasks, even to the point where like we set up one the other day that I add a row into a Google Sheet and it creates a Google folder and then puts Google Docs inside that folder, all based on the title of what we put in the Google Sheet. And it seems trivial on the surface, where it's like, yeah, just go create a folder and put the doc in. But when it's something that you do repetitively over and over and over again, and you realize that you're spending 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, each day or each week, why not have a tool that'll just do it for you based on 10 seconds of input? So that's one of like the Zapier platform is one of my favorites by all means. And I'm actually going to link a interview with the CEO of Zapier and basically why he created it and how he uses it in another podcast in the show notes here to go through a little bit more in depth what it is that they offer.
Yeah, that's an awesome tool. And I know like like you said, we've been really going hard on, me and Mike have spent a lot of time with Google Sheets and Supermetrics, just automating as much reporting as we can, because it's kind of like, these things that seem kind of trivial where it's like, okay, well, we need to go here, we need to pull this report, we need to compile this data so we can see what's going on. And for a while I was like, well, hey, it's good for me to like do this because I get to see it, or have someone on my team do it, because then you're sure that they're manually checking things. But then it got to the point where we're just doing so much. So now we spent a bunch of time automating all the reporting in our business. And also like I spent a lot of time on just learning like what's possible with Google Sheets, because I don't know about you, Mike, but like I didn't know a bunch of stuff that it could do, and I just spent some time learning some formulas that have been super helpful. So like now all my sheets are interconnected. So if I have some data somewhere else in a different sheet, I'm not copying and pasting it back over to another one. It's all just auto-populating. They're all interconnected. So most of the stuff that we're doing for clients now is getting much more efficient and much more automated so that we can spend our time doing more important stuff and not worrying about like numbers and data as much.
Yeah. And just seeing the numbers, like I don't know, I just feel like it's such a such a spiral once you start it. Like, I don't know how I did things 2 months ago without what we've worked on, because now I can go find out, you know, a very specific metric that I'm looking for almost instantaneously with real numbers behind it. Like, what hook in the ad copy that we're using, what hook spent the most money and generated the highest or lowest returns, so that we can either continue using it and expand on it or stop using it. And before, that was, you know, it would take half of the day to organize all of that data, find real numbers that you could report on and trust, and then go back to the client in some sort of like presentative way. And now it's like, yeah, you just jump into this Google Sheet, you see it immediately, and you go back and tell them. It's massive.
We did a really good job with that.
I'm kind of impressed. Kind of impressed.
Cool.
If anybody wants to see it, email us and we can have you on the podcast one day, show you around.
Yeah. All right, Mike, you got one last one?
Yeah, I got one last one. This one's actually probably the most simple, and that is sync your phone and your computer. I can't tell you how many people that I've talked to have their calendar on their phone and then they open up their computer and nothing's there. And between, it's ridiculous. And between Microsoft, Google, and Apple, there are plenty of ways to connect, regardless of what platform you're using. And if you have any sort of modern smartphone, there's definitely a way to put the two together across your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever device it is you're using, even if it's a Kindle. So I have actually included in the show notes here how to sync Google, Apple, and Microsoft devices, the links to those, if you guys want to take a look.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I usually really excited whenever I get stuck in like a waiting room somewhere waiting on something and I can't get stuff done, but it's like, oh, I can at least like bang out through my email while we're here. I can jump on my calendar to see if there's any meetings coming up. Like I couldn't live without having that data on both of those.
Yep. I love it. So that's it for
Sweet,
today.
Man. Those were our productivity hacks. I think there were 7 of them, roughly 7.
Yeah. You know,
about 7
we're not good
hacks
at counting,
for you.
but we're good at productivity.
7 or 8, you know? So yeah. So if you have if you have any questions about how to do any of this stuff, just reach out to us, because we do this stuff all day and we love to find other stuff to do. Or if you have other ones that you know that we miss, that you think guys like us would enjoy, please let us know, because I'm always looking for the next really good
That's
one.
what I want, is someone to blow my mind with a new extension or productivity hack that will increase the efficiency of my day.
Please blow our minds.
Yep. Bring it on.
Sweet.
Also, please review and follow us wherever it is that you listen to your podcasts, because we love reviews and we read all of them.
Yes, we do. And we appreciate them because they help us do more internet stuff better.
Definition of our job, do the internet stuff better.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Mike, it was great jamming. Let's do this again really soon. We will do this again soon. I hope you guys tune in and listen.
Love it.
And have a great one.
Later.